So this is what we're gonna talk about today about the visa process to learn English in the US. And this is pretty much different steps, different steps that we have. So you have the first step that will be the application with the school, and you need to contact the school and learn how to which documents you will need, what the steps are. uh, Maybe they have some fees that you need to pay first, and the deadlines, the dates that you need to follow to apply with this school. So that will be the first step, the application with the school you have chosen, or maybe you have different schools, so you know what process or who answers first or who answers better for you. So you need to first identify the school and the application process. So the next step would be getting the I-20. The school should be the one providing the I-20. And the third is the visa application. So that's when you get the I-20, that's on you. All right, so let's see with the next one. That's the application with the school. That's the first step. So many schools have an application form. So that is a document where you have to complete your personal information, right? You need to complete probably your passport number, your name, your last name, and your citizenship, where you live, and any other typical personal information, your date of birth, and the address where you're probably gonna live. You have a sponsor in the US. So that will be the application form. And then you need to, some schools have different fees. So that's a payment, right? The fee, and usually it's called the application fee. So some schools might charge $50, some schools might charge 75, 100, 150, 200. That depends on the school, right? But that's the application fee. Usually pay along with other fees. Some schools don't have other fees. Our school, for example, has a second fee, which is called the document processing fee, $100 each. But other schools might have other fees that you need to be familiar with after you get the visa. But this is usually the first fees you need to pay when you are applying for an English program. All right. And then, of course, you don't need to submit your original passport, but you need to submit or scan or upload a copy of your passport, right? The first page where the personal information is shown of your passport. It has to be valid passport. Usually, it doesn't need to expire 6 months after you finish the program here in the US, so you can travel. All right, so that will be the passport. And then you might find this, probably this is the most important, to issue the I-20 to show that you have enough funds to travel abroad. That will be the financial support, or the financials, or just how we call it. We have a form for that. For example, that's the statement of financial support form. The students need to complete any financial information over there, their financial sponsor, or who's covering the expenses, maybe the parents, maybe the student himself, but especially financial information, right? This goes with a document that is the bank statement, okay? And the bank statement is the official document that the bank issues related to your savings or checking account. So I'm gonna try to stop sharing here, but just to complement this, right? So these are basically some of the information that you first need to submit, right? That's the first part when you apply with the school. So again, is the application form uh, where your personal information goes, then application fee, all right, and the document processing fee if the school has that fee. Not all the schools have a document processing fee, but for example, we have both, right? And $100 application fee. But if you already live here, if you're a green card holder, if you're a resident here, we don't ask for a document processing fee, just an application fee, for example. So these two fees, for example, are for students who are applying for an I-20, right? For a later for a visa. If you are a U.S. resident or U.S. Green card holder or a citizen, right? You do not need to submit a passport, for example, but just any photo ID. Uh, and you don't need to send any bank statement or any financial support. But these documents are for the ones that are applying for a student visa. All right. So let's talk about the financial support or bank statement, because that could probably be document you will need to show. So so let's see. Over here you have information about let me see. So let's see, that's the one. So the financial support, that's a very typical question on how to show this, the financial support or the bank statement, right? There are different documents that the school might ask. Our school, for example, only asks for a bank statement. Of course, this comes with a form that, again, that's the statement of financial support form. But the bank statement is usually the official document that is issued by your bank or by the sponsor's bank, with the logo and the name of the card holder or the account holder, and the address and how much money they have in their savings or checkings bank account. So that would be a bank statement. So it's usually in US dollars, but if it's in your local currency, right, and that's no problem, right? Because that's maybe your parents in your country are your sponsors, and of course maybe they don't have a US dollar account. That's no problem. It could be in local currency. It can be more than one sponsor. Yes, at least for our school there is no problem. It could be more than one bank statement. It could, maybe you have your uncle and your father being your sponsors, no problem. You can send more than one bank statement. Usually are the parents, but sometimes students are going to live with any relative, and the relatives are the ones that are supporting the expenses. So they can send the bank statement. So it doesn't have to be on the student's name, right? And this document cannot be more than 5 months old, at least in our school. In other schools, it's usually more than 5 and less than 5 months, and that is different. So it depends on the school. All right. In our school, the bank statement doesn't have to be more than 5 months after being issued. So that would be the bank statement. All right. The bank statement cannot be a credit card statement, right? It's usually your savings or your checking account. So it has to be what it's called in English liquid funds. It cannot be credit card. All right. It cannot be any other type of document. It cannot be like, for example, the pension or the retirement statement. It cannot be probably in some countries, some people have accounts in retirement or like work compensation account. So that's usually that it's that has a different purpose, and that cannot be the bank statement. All right, so that's with that document. So let's go with the next one. That's the second step. As we said, the second step would be the I-20. And after you complete it, after you send all those documents and fees, the school starts to process the documentation and then approves or pre-accepts the student. And that's shown with a form, with a document that is called the I-20. So the school should be able to send you this document electronically by email. It's not mailed anymore. It's not mandatory unless you want the paper with an original ink signature, but it's not mandatory anymore. So this is the I-20 is a document that you are gonna need for your visa application. So the I-20 shows your name, the name of the school, your passport number, your country of birth, the school where you are going to study. And the most important information probably is the start and end date of the program. So over there, you're going to see when your program is going to start, not necessarily the first day of class, but when the program needs you to be there, probably for check-in or registration or orientation, right? And then you have the last day of the program, usually the last day of classes. So that would be the I-20 for you. All right. And with this document, you need to take this document to your visa appointment, to your visa interview. All right. So that's the second step. When you have this I-20, you are ready for the third step, which is the visa process. So let's see what the visa process is about. So over here, you have the third step, which is the visa, the F-1 student visa process. And you need to make two payments. One is a SEVIS fee. Right now, as of November 2022, the SEVIS fee is $350. That's a payment that is not paid to the school, is paid to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, and you can pay that online. And you need the I-20 information over there to pay the SEVIS fee, because in the I-20 you're going to find a SEVIS number or SEVIS ID number, and you're going to need that number, and also the school code to pay the SEVIS fee. So after you pay the SEVIS fee, then you go to the U.S. consulate or U.S. embassy website, and then you start to complete the DS-160 form to apply for the student visa. So if you already have a tourist visa, that doesn't matter. It will not be canceled or no. That's a different visa, and you need to complete information in the DS-160 form. It's also done online, and after you complete the DS-160, then you can schedule your interview or visa appointment at the U.S. consulate or U.S. embassy at the nearest city or where you live. If you have a U.S. consulate in your city, you can check also that, you can also go there and have your interview over there. So that's a different process. Maybe in a different Facebook Live, we can explain everything about the visa interview. But so far here, you are ready for your student visa appointment. So that would be the next step number 3. So after you get this, and after you get your visa, and now you're ready to fly, usually after the visa, you do 3 things. You, of course, you purchase your flight ticket to and then you make reservations for housing. If the campus or university offers on-campus residence, you do the reservation for that. You pay for the housing. If you're going to stay with a host family, right, you also pay for that in advance. And then you're ready to planned your trip, right? And your probably your health insurance, and then you're ready to pay the tuition fee, right? The cost of the program, and and then you're ready, to go. So this is information of our program. If you need to learn more about our visa process or the I-20, you can find us on our social media platforms, and you can send us a message. If you do not speak English, of course, you can send us a message in your language. We can try to translate that and try to contact you and help you as much as possible in your language. But this is our contact, our phone number, our email, our website. If you have questions about your about the visa process, we'll be able to help you there. So thank you again for watching our this Facebook info session. We're going to have this info session on Instagram next week. We're going to have this info session in Spanish also in a couple of weeks here on Facebook and Instagram. And any question you may have about the visa process, feel free to contact our office, of course. So let's see. So thank you for watching, and you have a great day. Bye-bye. Take care.